you guys, welcome back to Meaningful Motivations with Tracy Erickson. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy Erickson, and I've been sitting on some information from my notes from heaven. And with the, recent UFO sightings and alien sightings going on that we've been hearing about all over the news, I thought now is a good time to share this information. So stay tuned. In this video, I will be sharing with you more of my notes from heaven. And if you've never seen this series before, then you might want to go back and watch Letters from Heaven, the very first kind of episode in this series, where I explain exactly where these notes from heaven come from. But I do not want to explain that again in this video. I've already been over it a few times, so check out the playlist if you haven't seen those previous videos yet. As you know, in some of my previous Notes from Heaven's video, my grandma has told us all about how being human really just clouds our perception because we have this flesh that we're living in this 3D world that we are living in. So all of this kind of makes humans more like animals because we see what's right in front of us and we have all of these desires that cloud us. But it's once you can free yourself from the flesh, once you can free yourself from all of those earthly desires, you can start to see beyond the veil. And once you can start to see beyond the veil, you will see that life is so much more unlimited than we ever thought it was from our very limited human perspective. I don't know about all of you, but I have noticed that UFOs, aliens, and crop circles and the like have been showing up in our news media quite a bit lately. Almost to the point where it seems like we're having almost a little bit of disclosure coming out about what's really going on in the extraterrestrial world of space. A lot of this news could come as quite a shock to quite a few people out there, but to someone like me, and if you've been on my channel for a while, you might see it a little bit differently, right? So while some people out there see UFOs and aliens as something very scary, as even something that can challenge their very core beliefs about who they are and their place in the world. In September of 2021, in one of my grandma's letters from heaven, she actually says it like this. She says that God has created a masterpiece and it defies all logic, and she is in awe. She also said we are limited by our sense, but there are other realms that we can't sense or comprehend. And it reminded me of what I've talked about in the past, where I've talked about the different dimensions, different levels of mind, and how each level of mind or dimension actually has its own life forms, right? Such as the Fae realm, for instance. And I made a video years before that letter from heaven ever came out about the Fae realm. So what I'm really trying to point out to you guys is that God has created this ultimate masterpiece. And from our earthly human perspective, it literally defies logic and reasoning, because logic and reasoning is merely a product of us being human. It's a product of the lower self, of the flesh. In my grandma's letters from October of 2022, my grandpa asked, is heaven a place or a state of being? And in the letter, my grandma responded that on earth, it's a deep state of knowing. But after we die, we go to a beautiful place with a different body. In each different dimension, it's like a different type of body, right? And from our limited human experience, we already know that we have a physical body, we have an emotional body, an astral body, or an etheric body. But we kind of see that through the lens of this fleshly human consciousness that we're existing in now. But if you look past this flesh, you can see that even in your dream state, your consciousness is entering into a whole different kind of body and is having a whole different type of experience just by being in a different level of mind, even while still tied to the human body. So from the human perspective, heaven is a deep state of knowing. But from the heavenly perspective, it's a place. It's a place where you have a different kind of body. After explaining that heaven to us is a deep sense of knowing, but from her perspective, it's a beautiful place with a whole different body, she goes on to say something that I found to be rather interesting. So in October 2022, she goes on to state that many civilizations of the universe exist, and there are countless life forms that exist out there in the universe. She said that it will all be revealed soon. And that was in October 2022. And now look in 2023, and UFOs, aliens, and crop circles are all the buzz. And some people are becoming fearful because to them, it's like, it's not really understood from that heavenly perspective, so to speak. Aliens can only be understood from the human perspective for some people, and that might actually cause your beliefs to be shaken to the core. But if you do believe that this earth that we're living in is just a particular dimension, and that multiple other dimensions and life forms can exist, just with different kinds of bodies and in different dimensions of reality, then you can start to open your mind to understand how this all works, and how even though there are so many different life forms out there from so many different dimensions, we are all still from the same creator source. So really, there's not much to be afraid of. If you've been hanging around with me for a while on this channel, then you already know that I do believe that other life forms do exist out in the universe, or even in other dimensions. You've seen it in my fairy realm video. You've seen it in my Monsters of New Mexico video. You've seen it in my UFO Betty and Barney Hill sighting videos. And you've just seen it in so many different ways on this channel. So I really love that this is kind of a place that we can get together and discuss all of the limitless possibilities that exist in the universe. So I really want to know, what are your guys' thoughts about this kind of slow disclosure that seems to be coming out? Like my grandma did state in those previous letters, she said that things will begin to be revealed soon. And here we are, and I feel like it's like the beginning stages of the big reveal that maybe there is life outside of this planet. My advice in times like this, where the world's getting a little crazy, and now they're starting to reveal to us things that maybe we should have known a long time ago, but has been held back from us, I just want you to know that now is not the time to fear. Now is the time to be curious. Now is the time to look into it. Now is the time to actually ponder life beyond the planet Earth. So from the words of my grandmother, she did say this is in December 2020. She said, things are getting pretty interesting on Earth. The good news is God has it all under control. So that's really the most important thing to remember. So through all of the lies and manipulation of the news media, and the propaganda we've been fed since the day we were born, the best thing is just to keep your mind open to all of the possibilities. Because as soon as you have fear in your heart and mind, you're shutting down all of those possibilities. And you're keeping yourself separate from all of those other forms of life that exist out there. But it's true. There are other forms of life out there, but we are all connected to the same creator source. Now, that's not to say that every other being out there is good and benevolent, because there are malevolent, bad beings out there, or what we would label as bad. But it doesn't mean that we should be afraid of all of them, because as long as you have God on your side, nothing really bad can actually happen to you. So just keep that in mind, because we're actually spirit beings having a human experience. And from our spiritual being standpoint, once we've lost this earthly flesh, we actually see the interconnectedness of all beings, and we're not afraid of it. We feel just unlimited amounts of love in our hearts once we lose this lower ego, lose this earthly body. So no matter what happens to you here on earth, it's not the end of you. There's nothing to fear, nothing at all to fear except for fear itself. So I really wanted to let you guys know that this disclosure is something that even heaven knew was coming. My grandma has been talking about it in her letters for quite some time now. So the more that you start to see this stuff in the news, media, just keep your mind open to all of the possibilities, and don't let fear creep in to close yourself off from those unlimited possibilities. Because you never know what's really going on out there because of the wool being pulled over our eyes down here. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button and share this video with all your friends out there. And of course, if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe down below. And once you have subscribed, you can turn on that notifications bell if you'd like to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.